When Sirhan was arrested, according to the LA cops, it looked like he had been drugged or was not even in control of his own mind. That evidence is strewn throughout the case. I believe Sirhan was a victim of CIA mind control and mental programming, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. That's one of the reasons, or the major reason, why I believe he can't remember anything about shooting RFK. So here we go. I think he could have been on acid, such as LSD, or the synthetic version like MDA. I think he was probably on some form of lower level acid with mind control, such as MDA, or possibly a drug only the CIA would have known that even existed at that time. I think there were CIA witch doctors that had him hypnotized, and I'm going to name them now. One of them was Dr. William J. Bryan, and the other was George Joannides, and others had him hypnotized. In my view, Sirhan may have been handled by as many as possibly 100 CIA people, or at least about 50. One example of this is Lee Harvey Oswald in the JFK case. I think Oswald could have also been handled by at least 50 to 100 different CIA people, and the same type of an example is in this particular case. Mind control can be powerful, in my view, in a very small percentage of the population. According to my research, probably about maybe 10 to 20%. Patsies and fall people can be made to look violent by government agencies or really anybody that wants to do this. BlackVault.com houses released MK Ultra CIA files. The movie The Manchurian Candidate by Richard Condon is based on this program, MK Ultra. MK Ultra was one of many CIA mind control programs from approximately 1950 to about 1973. I personally think these programs still exist in our government, possibly in the Army. It's hard to say exactly. I do think they exist under other names. Some of the names that have been publicly released, I'm going to mention now. Often, Chatter, Chickwit, Bluebird, Artichoke, MK Naomi, MK Delta, and QK Hilltop. Those are the programs when you're talking about these kinds of things. Former CIA Director Richard Helms used the Bureau of Narcotics to perform CIA mind experiments on drug addicts in prisons in the 60s and 70s. It was highly unethical behavior by our government, and the government was later sued on these issues. James Angleton of the CIA had pre-JFK murder files on Oswald, meaning Oswald was in the CIA going back to the late 50s, early 60s, and may have been recruited to kill other politicians in these mind programs or in general CIA programs. It's obvious he was no ordinary person. There was no RFK murder investigation that ever sought CIA files. Keep that in mind. None of these assassinations ever had real investigations. It's all a sham. I heard on a radio show about 15 years ago that Lee Harvey Oswald and James Earl Ray, the alleged assassin of MLK, had participated in CIA mind control programs in Canada. It's possible they may have been recruited to kill politicians up there in Canada. James Angleton blamed the mob for RFK's murder. The government blamed the mob for JFK and RFK's murder. Sound familiar? Angleton of the CIA was a skilled misinformation agent, meaning he was a paid professional liar for your government. Around this time, the CIA was discrediting the radical political left in the U.S. through many programs. According to the Pease book, this was possibly done in the Vacaville prison system. James Fetzer seems to think so too, and so do I. I don't know a ton about this issue, but a lot of political radicals went through that system. Who were they working for? We may never know. I find it very interesting that Charles Manson also went through this prison system and spent a lot of time there. Highly interesting. Helms left the CIA and ordered all the files on their mind control programs destroyed. This was in the 70s. Few survived on horrific abuse, meaning we have very few of these files left. There's actually a lawsuit up in Canada now that Canadian citizens are trying to sue the US government over MK Ultra mind control programs. We have few of these documents left out of probably hundreds of thousands or millions of documents. According to legend and my research, Helms and George H.W. Bush burned all these CIA mind control files back in the 70s. I believe that's a lot of the reason Jerry Ford made Bush head of the CIA, was to cover up other crimes that they and him had been involved in. Watch my videos on the JFK murder. Are victims still out there? Who knows? We really don't know if these sleeper assassins still exist because we simply don't know enough about these programs, other than what's been released by the CIA. In my view, Sirhan learns to shoot people in Corona, California. He disappears for close to a month right before the assassination. CIA mind control on human targets or teaching that was probably done in this area somewhere. Someone had to train him or teach him or manipulate him there. He was the perfect foil or the perfect fall guy. The perfect foil may be in a plot they don't even know they were a part of. Whatever Sirhan knew was locked in his brain for almost his entire life. The shrinks in jail were conclusion selective, but all could not unlock his brain until a Dr. Brown of Harvard was kind of able to do this partially. He was a renowned psychologist, and he proved that the polka dot dress girl controlled Sirhan both socially, romantically, and I believe probably sexually and through drugs. She led him into the pantry. She got him into range mode, quote unquote, that night. He thought he was shooting targets, in my opinion. I think he was actually in the belief, under control, that he was shooting Israeli soldiers when he was a kid living back in the West Bank. The bartender probably gave Sirhan the last of his hypnotic orders that night. Remember, all kinds of people in that hotel that night were in on this, according to my evidence. He showed signs of barbiturates. The bar was probably a staging area for the plot to start. Keep in mind, looking at all the evidence in the case, it's obvious there's a lot there. Here ends this video. Thank you for your time. Please make a note. My next video is going to be on Kathy Fulmer and CIA Dr. William James Bryan. It's free to subscribe.